Hello and welcome into Baker Fall Sports Media Day 2025. Today we are previewing the Baker football season, and we are joined by head coach Miguel Regalado. Coach, thank you for joining us today.
Sure, good to be back.
Yeah, I know you guys had a strong showing this summer and been through the first few practices. How have those early preseason practices been going?
Fast, Matt. We're really fast. This year's camp was a little bit shorter than it normally is, so we've had to prepare a little bit faster. Always makes you a little bit nervous, but one thing we did this year that we have not done in a while is we scrimmaged somebody else. We went against an extremely talented Garden City team on Saturday. I felt, Matt, that it was really important to get our young football team. This is the youngest football team I've ever been around at Baker University in my time here. So what we did is we put them in front of the number 7 team in the country at the junior college level. I think they have 8 guys on offense that are going to go Division I. It got a little chippy, but it was the best thing that could have happened to us. I think my guys realized, okay, this is what it feels like to be in a physical football game. This was their game zero. So I think that was really huge for us. On Saturday, we're going to scrimmage again, but it's going to be more geared towards our young guys because starting next week, we're in game week.
Yeah, absolutely. Had nice weather too for that scrimmage, so it's been nice here in Baldwin. Yeah. Let's take a look at this year. Going into the season off of back-to-back playoff appearances, back-to-back conference titles. You guys have been consistently in the national rankings since midway through your first year. But what are the goals and expectations for the group this year going into the 2025 season?
Even as young as we are, Matt, our goal here will always be to win a national title. Baker University's been to 2 national titles in its history here, and we just haven't been able to climb over that top of that mountain. As young as this football team is, we have a theme for this year that's called Why Not Us and Why Not Now? I think this is the most talented roster I've ever been around. It's the youngest, but it's the most talented. The question is going to be, does our senior leadership, like a Zach Schneider, like a Truman Jules-Gard, an Aiden Palmer, do they step up and help this young team develop quickly and get over those rocky parts of the early part of the season? But I believe we are a team that can win another ring, and I believe we are a team, if we get hot at the right time at the end of the season, can make a run for a national title as well.
Absolutely, and obviously the national rankings put you among those contenders as well. You guys come into the season ranked number 16. You're one of 4 Hart teams ranked. Let's talk about the conference a little bit on how tough it is. 2 semifinal teams last year, including the defending national champs in Grandview. How is your approach to getting through that grind of the conference season and making sure the team is locked in week after week?
You know, it's a little different this year. I won't lie to you, Matt. Any coach that says that they don't think this way is lying. When you go into a season, you're usually like, okay, we're going to beat that team, we're going to beat that team, we're going to be in a ball game there, we're going to be in a ball game here. This year, I think we're going to take it 1 week at a time. I think we're going to be in a really competitive football game in the Oak Bowl on September 6th. It's a night game. I'm taking a ton of young guys on the road in a big atmosphere. I expect them to be 1-0 after their game 0. And everybody, and it's like I told my team when I got here, they're no longer hunting, they're the hunted. People want what you have when you're winning rings, and they want to knock you off, and Peru State's going to believe that they can. So to answer your question, we're going to go 1 game at a time. I want to take a young football team in there, and I want to get a win in the Oak Bowl, and then I want to bring them home and at a home opener versus William Penn on the 13th and get a win, and then I want to take them into the defending national champions, bring them into Liston Stadium, and see how good of a football team we got.
Absolutely. Let's expand on that a little bit too with those home games this year. A lot of big matchups at home. You just highlighted one there with Grandview, but bringing in MNU and Benny, who's ranked, but also a tough William Penn team there for the home opener. You got a new scoreboard coming up though.
Yes,
that's on the way. So how big of a boost does playing at home and in front of the Liston faithful, how big of a boost is that for you guys in those big time matchups?
Gigantic. It's absolutely gigantic. I think our team is different at home. They really are. I look back to a year ago, there's only one game where I can feel like, you know what, that's not how we play at home, and it was Missouri Valley. I think our football team plays at a whole different level when they're at home. They're excited. They love being in front of their fans. They love being in front of their families. And I think we just play with a little bit more juice. Now, I want to see us take that type of energy on the road, and that's going to be an interesting when we figure that out. But to have Benedictine Mid-America, Grandview, all at home. Huge advantage for my guys, especially not only the magnitude of that game, but again, we're going to grow up a little bit more each game. So hopefully by game 3, we're rocking.
Yeah, and you touched on a little bit there with the road matchups. Yeah, you've got the big games at home, but you don't want to lose focus on the road either. Got some tough opponents on the road, as you mentioned right there out of the gate. So how do you keep them focused, not looking too much ahead on those big marquee games at home, but staying focused on those road matchups that can trip any team up?
I think that's where our youth might come into our favor a little bit. You know, older teams are smart, Matt. They kind of know. You know, sometimes an older veteran team knows, like, okay, we're going to win this week. Next week, we got to be ready to go. A young football team is just fighting and scratching and clawing every single week. They don't know how good they are. And so that's what I'm kind of hoping that this 25 team is. They're going to come out on the 6th, and they're going to come out on the bus home, and they're going to say, we're a pretty good football team. And then they're going to run into a very tough William Penn team at home, and they're going to say, we're a pretty good football team. Then they're going to find out how good they actually are when the defending national title champions come in. But I think being as youthful as we are, they're not going to look ahead. I think they're just going to take one game at a time, and that's perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, let's get into your roster then a little bit. Just looking at some of the returners here, got 5 all-conference returners, including the reigning Hart Defensive Player of the Year in Zach Kramer. Got a 2023 Offensive Player of the Year in Truman Julesgaard. Throw on top of that a Fred Mitchell Award finalist to kicker and Seth Simpson. You have those returners along with, I know, a strong recruiting group this past offseason. So looking at your roster as a whole, what excites you most about them going into this season?
Number one, talent. I think this is the fastest and most athletic team I've ever seen at Baker. It's just young, Matt. It's just young. I realized this morning that I hadn't sent you our roster yet, like I promised you I would a couple days ago. And so in front of my offensive staff, I said, do you guys want to see something funny? And I sorted it on the Excel sheet. And I started going down from freshmen to sophomores. We got through 3/4 of the team before we hit the juniors. And then we were done very quickly with our seniors. So it's a very, very talented roster. I think it's the most, again, I'll continue to say it's the most talent I've ever seen. The key is going to be this. The key is going to be guys like Truman Julesgaard, Aiden Palmer, Andy Williams, Gavin Fellingham has come on the scene like gangbusters since he transferred here in the spring. Those juniors and seniors, the leadership that we get out of those guys, Zach Schneider, Kramer, Jalen Smith, Elijah Malvo, if we can get those guys to rally this young group every single week, whether they're playing well, hey, we got to play better, or we're not playing as well, hey, we're going to be fine. If our seniors and our juniors leadership do that, this is going to be a really good football team, but it's going to be those guys that carry us.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's look into the both sides of the ball here. Let's first highlight your defense. Consistently one of the best in the NAIA. You've led the nation in defensive touchdowns last year, led them in interceptions the year before. You've got a 3-time conference assistant coach of the year as your defensive coordinator in Tucker Pauley. What does that mean to you as a coach to be able to keep those high standards alive on defense year in and year out?
You know, the key is keeping your coordinators. When you can keep your coordinators, you can build a system, and then you just recruit to that system. Tucker Pauley's the glue over there. He is also dealing with a young staff. We've got a defensive backs coach in Deshaun Lewis that was just playing a year ago. We have a defensive line coach in Adrian Tamayo that was just playing a year ago. I have a quarterbacks coach that was just playing a year ago. I have a running backs coach that was playing a year ago. So not only are we young on the football team, we're young on the staff. But Coach Pauley will make it work. Coach Pauley is fanatical about the standard that is set on his defense, the expectations, and what those players are being held to. They got off to a rough start in camp, and they have gotten better and better as camp has gone on. I thought they took it on the chin a little bit at Garden City against 5 offensive linemen that are going to go to Division I. A tailback's going to go Division I. And you know what? They won't see an offense that talented probably until week 3 against Grandview. So I thought it was great for them. So I'm really excited about the group that Coach Pauley has. It's not like we don't have people there that can play. They're just inexperienced, and they're going to continue to get better.
Yeah. Now let's turn to the offensive side of the ball. Lost some key guys up front. Still have all conference coming back with Aiden Palmer. Got Truman back there again for year number 3 as the starting quarterback. and still have some playmakers there. I know you brought in some key guys as well in the recruiting offseason. Let's talk about the offense. What do you like about the offense going into this year?
I think the strength of this group is the offensive line. I really do. I think that they have protected Truman all camp long. I think our run game is as good as it's been since I've been here. And now this is going to allow Truman to just relax and play football. I don't think Truman is going to go into 25 thinking he has to play like Superman. He's going to trust that offensive line. We have surrounded him with people that can flat out fly. Adrian Seals is dynamic. You've got Jack Malin in there. You've got Gage Warren in there. We've got tight ends that can run and block. I'm really excited about this group. I'm excited that I get to call plays again. I haven't done that in a long time, but I'm excited. A play caller is usually excited when they have weapons and they have a quarterback. We have all of that. Now it's just learning the new system. We're still installing to this day. We're in game week next week, and we've only got maybe 60% of our offense in, but it's enough, and we'll continue to work and install more as the season goes on. But I've always said this: you're as good as your quarterback, and ours is dang good. Your quarterback is only as good as his offensive line, and I think they're dang good. A quarterback is only as good as how good his running game is, and I think it's going to be dang good. So I'm really excited about this group.
Yeah, great things to look forward there too. I'd be foolish to not mention special teams with you. So let's just briefly talk about special teams, how important that is, and again, bringing back such an important piece in Seth Simpson, somebody that can go out there and knock down a field goal. I know you love scoring touchdowns, but those field goals matter in those close games. So how important is special teams this year?
You get me more and more excited talking about this group, Matt. Now I'm realizing how talented this team is. So obviously we have one of the best kickers in the country coming back. I think we have two snappers that are fantastic. Chris Brown is absolutely reliable in our PAT field goal unit. Jordan Hall is going to replace Adrian Tamayo on the Rangers unit, and he's fantastic snapping. I think Josh Gonzalez is going to be one of the top, if not the top punter in the league this year. We brought in somebody named Cody Gass to compete with him in camp, and they have been right on each other's heels all camp long. We call ourselves Specialist U around here. We believe it. We take it very seriously, and I think it's been the difference in the 23 and 24 season, and I'm hoping it gets us over the top in 25.
Yeah. Now let's look at yourself here. As I mentioned before, going in year number 3 here as a head coach. Yeah. Year number 12, though, overall. How do you feel the program has grown these past 2 years with you at the helm, and how do you get them to that next level?
I really feel like when I got here, I inherited a group that was a great group of guys. I don't know that we were the most talented in 23, and I think we got the most out of that football team. I think in 24, we did not meet the expectations that I had on that football team. I had that team as a Final Four, possibly 8 team. I think not playing well on offense at the end of the year held us out of the bye week, and we ran into a Pikeville team that was feeling themselves, and they played a fantastic football game. This 25 team is now our roster. It is. The final parts of that team that I inherited are now our leaders. Because what happens, Matt, when a new coach comes in is people are either going to jump on board with his vision or they're going to jump off. And the guys that have stuck with us, the Trumans, the Schneiders, the Kramers, they have bought in. They have bought in, and they are our leaders, and they are leading this crew, and they're going to take us as far as our seniors can. We'll go as far as our seniors will take us. But I'm looking for this team to take another step. This team is a championship football team. I don't know if they believe it yet. I think they're going to find out here pretty quickly how talented and good they actually are. But I believe this is a team that if it gets hot at the right time going into the playoffs, and they win a few tough games at home, they're going to be really, really dangerous. The expectation, as long as I'm the head coach here, will always be to bring the first national title to Baker University.
Well, that's exciting stuff to hear, Coach. Season gets started on September 6th. Thank you for joining us today, Coach, and good luck with the season.
Appreciate it, Matt. Thank you.